There's a woman who walks into a room and doesn't announce herself. She doesn't need to. The most powerful men sense her immediately. The most dangerous ones? They become obsessed. She's not playing the game everyone else is playing. She's not even on the same board. And that's exactly what makes her irresistible to the kind of men most women run from. They call her the Sigma female. We're going to uncover why she attracts chaos, power, and danger, like a flame draws moths to their beautiful destruction. If you've ever been told you're too intense, too independent, or intimidating, this is your story. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the dark magnetism you possess. Let's be clear about something from the start. The Sigma female isn't a personality type you choose. It's a frequency you operate on. A frequency most people can't even detect. While alpha females compete for dominance in hierarchies they never wanted to join, and beta females seek approval from systems designed to contain them, the Sigma female simply opts out. She creates her own reality. She's the lone wolf in designer clothing, the mystery wrapped in silk and steel. She doesn't seek power, she is power. And that terrifies and tantalizes in equal measure. But here's where it gets interesting. Her independence, her self-sufficiency, her complete lack of need for validation, it creates a vacuum. And nature, as they say, abhors a vacuum. Into that space walks a particular type of man. Not the safe ones, not the predictable ones, the dangerous ones. The 5 core traits that set her apart. 1. Radical self-possession. She owns herself completely. Every decision, every consequence, every triumph, every scar. There's no victim narrative, no blame game. This level of self-ownership is intoxicating to men who've spent their lives around women looking for someone to complete them. 2. Emotional self-sufficiency. She doesn't need emotional rescue. She's walked through her own darkness and emerged with maps of territories most people fear to enter. This depth draws men who are equally complex, equally scarred, equally unafraid of the shadows. 3. Selective vulnerability. She's not closed off, she's discerning. She doesn't give her trust, her time, or her truth to just anyone. This selectivity makes her inner world the ultimate prize, and dangerous men love a challenge they're not certain they can win. 4. Comfortable in chaos. While others seek stability and predictability, she thrives in transformation. She's not afraid of destruction if it leads to rebirth. This comfort with chaos resonates with men who live on the edge, who build empires and burn bridges, who understand that creation and destruction are 2 sides of the same coin. 5. Mirror effect. Here's the dark magic. She reflects back what she encounters. Meet her with depth, she shows you the universe. Meet her with games, she'll outplay you without breaking a sweat. Meet her with danger, she doesn't flinch, she matches it. This mirroring effect fascinates dangerous men because she's the first woman who doesn't try to fix them or fear them. Now, let's talk about him. The dangerous man. But let's shatter some illusions first. We're not talking about the obviously toxic man, the walking red flag everyone can spot from a mile away. We're talking about something far more nuanced, far more seductive. The dangerous man we're discussing possesses 3 things: power, depth, and damage. The power player. He's built something, an empire, a reputation, a legacy. He's used to winning, used to control, used to getting exactly what he wants. He doesn't ask for permission, he creates opportunities. This level of power comes with its own darkness, decisions made in gray areas, sacrifices that keep him awake at 3 a.m. The depth seeker. Beneath the power and success, there's a searching. He's encountered enough shallow connections to develop a hunger for something real, something raw, something that challenges him. He's tired of performances, of women who want his status but fear his truth. The damaged genius. There's always a wound, a betrayal that shaped him, a loss that forged him, a darkness he's learned to weaponize rather than heal. This damage doesn't make him broken, it makes him dangerous. Because he understands pain as power, vulnerability as strategy, emotion as a tool. Here's what makes this attraction dangerous. When this man encounters a Sigma female, it triggers something primal. For perhaps the first time, he meets someone who doesn't need his power, doesn't fear his damage, and can't be impressed by his usual arsenal. She becomes the one thing he can't acquire, can't control, can't fully predict. And men like this? They don't know how to walk away from a challenge. The 7 reasons he's drawn to her. 1. She's unownable. Every woman he's known has wanted something from him. Status, security, validation, commitment. She wants herself, her freedom, her purpose. He can't buy her, can't promise her into compliance. This is revolutionary to him. 2. She sees through the mask. He's spent years perfecting his armor, his persona, his public face. Within minutes, she sees through to the truth beneath. Not because she's trying to, but because she operates on the frequency of truth. This visibility is both terrifying and relieving. 3. She matches his intensity. He's used to overwhelming people with his presence, his ambition, his darkness. She meets him there without flinching. Scene for scene, intensity for intensity. She's not trying to dim his light or fear his shadow. She has her own. 4. She's not trying to fix him. Every therapist, every well-meaning partner, every person who claimed to love him has tried to heal his wounds, soften his edges, make him better. She doesn't. She accepts his darkness because she's integrated her own. This acceptance feels like the first honest love he's ever known. 5. The intellectual match. He's bored by surface conversation, by predictable thoughts, by people who tell him what they think he wants to hear. She challenges his ideas, presents perspectives he hasn't considered, engages in verbal sparring that feels like foreplay. Her mind is as compelling as anything physical. 6. The mystery remains. Even when he thinks he knows her, she surprises him. She contains multitudes. Just when he believes he's figured her out, she reveals another layer, another facet, another dimension. For a man who solves problems and conquers challenges for a living, she remains perpetually intriguing. 7. She activates his protector instinct differently. She doesn't need protection in the traditional sense. She can handle herself. But he recognizes that her way of moving through the world, her unwillingness to play political games, her honesty in a dishonest world, makes her vulnerable to lesser men. He wants to protect not her weakness, but her strength, her right to remain exactly who she is. What happens when these two forces collide? It's not a romance. It's an event, a chemical reaction, sometimes explosive, sometimes transformative, always unforgettable. Phase 1. Recognition. They see each other across a crowded room, or in a business meeting, or in the most unexpected place. But see isn't quite right. They recognize each other, like calling to like. Darkness acknowledging darkness, power recognizing power. The air shifts. Everyone else fades into background noise. In that moment, they both know. This is different. Phase 2. The chase that isn't a chase. He pursues, but she doesn't run. She doesn't play hard to get. She simply is hard to get. Not because of games, but because her life is full, her purpose is clear, her standards are non-negotiable. This baffles him, intrigues him, obsesses him. She's interested, but not desperate. Available, but not accessible. Present, but not possessed. Phase 3. The connection. When they finally come together, it's intense. Conversations at 2 a.m. that feel like therapy and philosophy and confession and conspiracy all at once. A physical connection that's more about power exchange than simple pleasure. A meeting of minds that's more compelling than most people's greatest love stories. They share darkness without judgment, ambition without competition, silence without discomfort. But here's where it gets complicated. Dynamic 1. Power struggles. Two people who are used to being in control, who refuse to submit to anyone or anything, who have built their identities on independence. What happens when they collide? Sometimes it's beautiful, a dance of equals. Sometimes it's destructive, two storms trying to occupy the same space. Dynamic 2. Emotional unavailability. Squared. She's spent years building walls, protecting her peace, maintaining boundaries. So has he. What happens when two emotionally self-sufficient people try to build something together? Sometimes they create a partnership stronger than anything two dependent people could build. Sometimes they create parallel lives that never quite intersect. Two islands in proximity, but never truly connected. Dynamic 3. The mirror effect turns dark. Remember how she mirrors what she encounters? If he brings his shadows, his manipulation, his need for control, she reflects it back, amplified. This can either force him to confront his demons or escalate into a dangerous game neither can win. This is why the attraction is dangerous, not because of abuse, though that's a risk with any imbalanced power dynamic. It's dangerous because two powerful forces coming together can either create something extraordinary or destroy everything in the blast radius. Let's address the uncomfortable truth that makes this dynamic so compelling and so risky. The Sigma female's power in this dynamic. She holds the power of absence. She can walk away at any moment, and he knows it. This isn't a threat or manipulation. It's simply her nature. She existed complete before him. She'll exist complete after him. She holds the power of truth. In a world of performances, she's authentic. This makes her both precious and dangerous, because authentic people can't be controlled with the usual tools. She holds the power of self-sufficiency. She doesn't need his money, his status, or his name. This strips away his usual advantages, leaving only his essential self. Can that essential self, without the armor of accomplishment, be enough? The dangerous man's power in this dynamic. He holds the power of intensity. He can create experiences, opportunities, and connections that most people never access. He can show her worlds she hasn't seen. He holds the power of protection, not from herself or her own choices, but from the consequences of living authentically in an inauthentic world. He holds the power of matching her depth. He's one of the few who can go as deep as she does, who won't be frightened by her complexity. Two individuals, complete in themselves, choosing daily to intertwine their lives, not from need, but from want. Not from fear of being alone, but from the excitement of facing life alongside someone equally powerful. They maintain their independence while building interdependence. They keep their individual purposes while creating shared purpose. They preserve their solitude while enjoying their connection. The toxic version looks like power games disguised as passion, control masked as protection, possession masquerading as love. He tries to own what can't be owned. She withholds to maintain power. They both confuse intensity with intimacy, drama with depth. They become addicted to the push and pull, the fight and the makeup, the constant testing of who's more powerful. The relationship becomes a battlefield where both are casualties. In a healthy dynamic, both people grow. They become more themselves, not less. They expand, they evolve, they strengthen. In a toxic dynamic, both people shrink. They become focused on the relationship to the exclusion of everything else. They contract, they defend, they weaken. So where does this leave us? Is this attraction doomed? Is the Sigma female destined to attract chaos? Should the dangerous man be avoided at all costs? Not quite. The Sigma female attracts dangerous men because she's operating at a frequency most people can't reach. She's built herself into something rare, something powerful, something authentic in a world of facades. Dangerous men recognize this because they've also paid the price of power. They've walked through fire, they've integrated their shadows. They recognize a fellow traveler on the path less traveled. The attraction isn't the problem. The attraction is the catalyst. What matters is what both people do with it. For the Sigma female, your power is in your discernment. Yes, you attract intense men, but you're not obligated to engage with every intensity that comes your way. The question isn't, why do I attract these men? The question is, which of these men is worthy of my energy? Not every dangerous man is toxic. Some are simply powerful, complex, and unafraid of depth. Your job is to distinguish between the man who's dangerous because he's damaged and unwilling to grow, and the man who's dangerous because he's powerful and fully aware of his shadows. One will try to dim your light to feel less insecure. The other will fan your flames because he has his own fire. For the dangerous man, if you found yourself drawn to a Sigma female, understand this. She's not a prize to be won. She's not a challenge to be conquered. She's not a puzzle to be solved. She's a force to be respected. The question you need to ask yourself is not, how do I get her? But, am I worthy of someone this rare? Are you willing to match her emotional intelligence? Are you capable of the vulnerability that true intimacy requires? Can you love someone without needing to control them? If the answer is yes, if you're willing to do your own work, face your own shadows, and show up as your authentic self, then this could be the most transformative connection of your life. If the answer is no, if you're still operating from ego, from conquest, from the need to possess, then leave her alone. She deserves better, and honestly, so do you. The Sigma female attracts dangerous men because she's dangerous herself. Dangerous to comfortable lies. Dangerous to safe mediocrity. Dangerous to the status quo. She's the woman who burns down everything inauthentic and rises from those ashes stronger every time. The question isn't why she attracts danger. The question is, what will she build from the fire? If this resonated with you, you know who you are. You've always known. The lone wolf, the dark feminine, the woman who makes people uncomfortable simply by refusing to shrink. Your power isn't in being easier to digest, it's in being impossible to ignore. Own it, refine it, protect it. And remember, you don't attract dangerous men by accident. You attract them because you're the only one powerful enough to handle them, or wise enough to walk away. The choice, as always, has been yours all along.